Bee-friendly Exterminator here. We're in Camarillo and we're going to be doing a cutout at a house here. This is one of my friends from church. He apparently did some service work here for these ladies. They're a little older, not able to get around so well, and their yard was kind of overgrown, and it's still pretty overgrown on the side. They have bees that have moved into a compost bin there, and they actually have another one that moved into another area that we're going to work on later, but this is the one we're going to start on. So I've got my equipment here. I've got a homemade bee box that I made. I've got some wood frames that I made, so there's nothing in the middle. I've got rubber bands so I can cut the wax comb out, and I can put it in there and hold it in so the bees can work on it. So I've got 7 of those, and then I've got one of my plastic frames so they can start building comb onto that. I've got gloves. I've got bee suits down here. I have a bottom board for the hive, and then I've got a roof. I've got a bucket for honey, and then I've got a dustpan. I've got a brush, my smoker, a lighter, my hive tool, pine needles to use for the smoke, and a spray bottle, and some nitrile gloves. And that's pretty much all I think I'm going to need. I'm probably going to need more, we just don't realize it. But let's take a look over here and we'll see where the bees are. This is the side yard of the house. As you can see, it's kind of overgrown and it has some stuff here. And this is kind of a common occurrence if you have an area where you don't really go to a lot and you've got, essentially a big box for bees to move into. They're going to think that's a nice area to go. So here they are. They're going into this compost bin. There's some openings for air circulation that they've been using. And so we're going to open that up, hopefully cut out that wax comb, be able to put it into my frames. And then I'm just going to essentially try and get as many of the bees in there as I can, try and just set that on top of this. Hopefully I'll have the queen in there, and then I'll draw the rest of the bees up into that. And we can come back in a couple days and just pull it.
You need to get closer.
Alright, so we're all set up. I gave them a little smoke a couple minutes ago to let them kind of mellow out a little bit. And so right now we're going to try and open this thing up and take a look at what we got. Hope we got some comb out. Dearie me. Come and get a video of this. Looks like their honeycomb fell down. Okay, so I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this because this isn't what I was expecting. It looks like this was an old hive that collapsed off of the roof of the compost bin. As you can see here where these sheets are sealed together, but at one point these were all one sheet. So this is a hive because I saw a drone just a second ago. But I don't know where they're keeping their brood and all this mess. I see a lot of uncapped honey, a little bit of capped honey. Don't see any brood, but let's see what I can find in here, what I can do. This isn't going to be consumable.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think we're just going to have to dump this whole thing. Okay. Yeah, so this might be the second hive that's in here. Looks like this collapsed. Down here you can see a bunch of dead bees, bunch of mildew growing on it. So I don't know how salvageable this is going to be. I may end up just scrapping this whole thing or trying to save some of these bees, but I don't have a queen for them, and I don't have a strong enough hive back home to be able to make one. So this might all just be garbage, essentially. Down here, this is rotten brood.
Say that again.
Rotten brood that we've got down here where it got squished. I think I'm going to kill these bees. Okay, so just given that this is really nasty looking brood, I don't know if it's just because it fell and it's been sitting in compost, or it could be foul brood or some other disease. So I think the best option is just to go ahead and kill all these bees, because just in case they are contaminated, I don't want to contaminate my hive, and I don't want to contaminate any other wild hives around the area. So best option for these bees is just to go ahead and get rid of them. Yeah, this thing, I don't know if this has foul brood or not.
What is foul brood?
Foul brood is like a bacteria. Yeah, I think what it might have been is just because this thing is black. I think it probably got really hot and these melted and then fell. One just stung my glove. Cut off the better wax portions.
Okay.
Let's see what this has.
Is that real heavy?
This has honey in it. No, it's pretty light. This has a lot of honey in it though. There's honey in this. We'll have to cut the honey out of it.
Yum. If it's good.
It doesn't really smell good though. That's the thing. That's part of the reason I don't really want this so much. Okay. Give me some smoke. What?
The smoke smells pretty.
Yeah, it smells like smoke. This thing doesn't smell pretty at all. Yeah, it's the main thing that's making me really not want these bees. And it could just be the compost, but I'd rather not take the risk of bringing disease into the hives.
Ooh. Wow.
Oh, I bet you the queen is in there.
Is the haystack?
In this thing somewhere. Nice little hidey
The beetle
hole
in the haystack.
for her to be in.
So with the hive being gone, do all the bees just leave?
Well, what's going to happen is the queen may be dead in one of these. I'm going to essentially flood these and kill these bees. They won't have any comb left, so they can't make a new queen. The only thing is, if the queen is in here, then I could run into some trouble because she could remake this this colony. But we'll try and kill a bunch of these bees as well. Okay, so we're all done. Unfortunately, that colony didn't look very good. It looked like it might have been sickly, might have had some sort of a disease. It could have been just from falling down into that compost bin, but it had a real off odor. There was a lot of just really moldy and gross wax, so I didn't want to leave it around because, of course, it could get into other wild hives if it is, you know, some sort of a disease. I didn't want to take the bees because they could transfer it to my bees. So what we did was we took all of the gross honeycomb and bees and we bagged them up, sprayed them with soapy water to kill the bees. So we've got our bags of wax and bees here. The wax that looked newer and was nicer, we went ahead, cut that, put it into a separate bucket so we can melt that down, make it into candles, so we get something useful out of this. And went ahead and sprayed all the bees that were left with soapy water. That should essentially suffocate them as it fills up their pores so they can't breathe. And then I threw some of this eco product here. This is a diatomaceous earth, which is a non-poisonous type pesticide you can use. Essentially, it's the remains of tiny what are they, bacteria or something like that. Anyway, it's essentially like a bunch of little razor blades that slice up the exoskeleton of the insects and allows moisture to evaporate so they dehydrate to death. So I went ahead and put some of that in there, and it's a earth-friendly type of thing, so they can continue throwing their stuff into that compost bin and letting it break down. But that should take care of those bees and any bees that may go in looking for that honey or the wax or just the odor of that other